Hi, I'm Rino.
Hi, I'm Miki.
Hi, I'm Yuri.
And I'm Haruna.
First of all, Australian people can say their opinion. However, Japanese people are not good at it. Then we thought Japanese education is different from Australian education. Then we decided on this theme. I hope you enjoy our presentation. Okay, let's start with the quiz. Yay! Question: is the Australian compulsory education period longer than Japan's? Please clap your hands for the answer you think that is correct. First, A. Next, B. And last, C. The answer is A, yes. Australian compulsory education period is longer than Japan's. In Australia, primary school period is the same as Japan, 6 years. But junior high school period is 1 year longer than Japan. Then university period is 1 year shorter than Japan. Next is timetable in primary school. Australian students usually go to school at 8:45 a.m. And students usually wear uniforms in primary and junior high school. In addition, students have to wear a hat and same bag in the private school. And then there's no classroom for students in Australia. So the students also have to go to different classroom when the subjects start. And break time. In Australia, students can eat or drink during break time. It's amazing because when I was primary school student, I couldn't bring snacks. So nice. Then afternoon, there is lunch time for 30 minutes to 1 hour. But there is no school lunch like Japan. So students bring their own lunch or buy it. After lunch, there is no cleaning time in Australia. So and it's very different from Japan. Australian government thinks that the behavior should be at home. Australian school ends at 3 p.m. After school, there are no school clubs in Australia. So students go back home early or spend time with friends. Next is Miyuki.
Thank you, Rino. Then I will talk about points of education in Australia and Japan. First of all, in Australian education, students can change school easily because it is guaranteed that students have the right to receive education. Also, there are no textbooks which are specified because the government thinks that thinking skills and communication skills are more important than knowledge. So, teachers prepare teaching materials for the classes. Also, there is no grammar class. It is because it is difficult to learn grammar in the class. So, Students read a lot of books and learn grammar instead of the class. Next is Japanese education. According to Japanese education law, the education helps complete characteristics and makes children peaceful and democratic. For example, we learn the importance of cooperating with people and using things carefully by cleaning classroom by ourselves. Also, classroom teachers teach all subjects in primary school. Moreover, during compulsory education, which is junior high school and primary school, the schools provide school lunch, which is delicious and well-balanced, right? Also, we learn Japanese culture through the lunch. Next is Yuri.
Next, I'm going to talk about the result of the survey. We did questionnaires about Australian education to Curtin University students. First of all, we asked about the most important things in secondary school. According to this survey, the first answer is main subject, and then communication, then friends and manners. As a result of this survey, we can see that studying is the most important thing. Most people think that other things which are like communication and friends are less important than studying. But there were also unexpected answers. For example, passion, not to be afraid to ask questions, and trust in your ability. We think that these answers are very different from Japanese education because, in my opinion, Australians ask many more questions than Japanese students in class. They believe in themselves. Next, we asked about the image of Japanese education. There were study hard, high-level education, intelligent, very polite, and easy to learn. Some of the answers are very suitable answers for the image of Japanese. Because most Japanese people are more polite and hardworking than Australian. However, some people don't think that Japanese education is very high level and intelligent. There were many answers which are different from we had expected. But most Australians think that Japan has excellent education. Next is Haruna.
Hello, Finally, I will introduce Japanese education in the future. As we said, Australian education and Japanese education are very different, right? Australian education has classes which are group work and discussion since their childhood. In this way, they improve communication abilities, expression abilities, and creative abilities. So most Australians can express their opinion positively, and they have high communication abilities. On the other hand, Japanese education teaches manners, greetings, and they have lecture-style class. In this way, they improve politeness and knowledge. So, most Japanese people are polite and knowledgeable. The education of each country is nice, but we think that if Australian education and Japanese education mix, it will be great education. Then, actually, in Nikkei, you can receive the education which we introduced. So we appreciate to be able to receive the education at Nikkei and our parents. So we will do our best to be people who can contribute to society in the future.